My dear friends, I come before you today to speak about a tendency that dwells within many hearts, the profound love of remaining within one's own dwelling, the sanctuary of home. This is not a matter to be dismissed lightly or judged harshly, for within this inclination lies a complex tapestry of spiritual, psychological, and karmic threads that we must examine with compassion and understanding. You see, beloved ones, the soul that finds its greatest peace within the walls of home is not necessarily fleeing from the world, though sometimes this may be the case. More often, such a soul is seeking something far more precious, a communion with the inner self that the clamor and chaos of the outer world makes nearly impossible to achieve. In the silence of one's own space, away from the demanding energies of crowds and the constant stimulation of society, the mind can finally settle like sediment in still water, revealing the clarity that lies beneath. Before we begin, I ask you to like this video, comment below about your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to get the video on psychology like this. I have observed throughout my years of working with souls from all walks of life that those who cherish their home environment possess a particular sensitivity to energy. They are like delicate instruments that can detect the subtlest vibrations in their surroundings. When such individuals venture into the marketplace, into offices filled with competing ambitions, or into social gatherings where superficial conversation masks deeper anxieties, they absorb these energies like a sponge absorbs water. They return home not merely tired in body, but depleted in spirit, their nervous systems overwhelmed by stimuli that others might not even consciously register. This sensitivity, my friends, is not a weakness. It is often a sign of spiritual refinement. The soul that has lived many lifetimes, that has experienced the full spectrum of human drama and worldly engagement, sometimes incarnates with a natural inclination toward introspection and solitude. Such souls have learned, perhaps through countless experiences, that true fulfillment does not come from external validation or constant social engagement, but from the cultivation of inner peace and self-awareness. Yet we must be careful, dear ones, to distinguish between the healthy love of home and the fearful retreat from life. There is a vast difference between choosing solitude as a path to self-realization and hiding within one's dwelling because the world seems too threatening to face. The former is a conscious spiritual practice. The latter is a prison of one's own making. How can you tell the difference? Examine your heart honestly. When you remain at home, do you feel peaceful, creative, and connected to your higher self? Or do you feel anxious, restless, and haunted by a sense that you are missing out on life? The person who truly loves home in a spiritually healthy way uses this sanctuary as a temple for inner development. Their home becomes a place of meditation, of creative expression, of deep rest and rejuvenation. They may spend hours in contemplation, in reading sacred texts, in practicing yoga or other spiritual disciplines. They find joy in simple domestic activities, preparing nourishing food, tending to plants, creating beauty in their surroundings. These activities, when performed with mindfulness and devotion, become forms of meditation themselves, ways of honoring the divine presence in everyday life. Such individuals often possess rich inner worlds that require time and space to explore. They may be artists, writers, thinkers, or mystics who need extended periods of solitude to access the deeper wells of creativity and insight within them. The world may not always understand them, may label them as antisocial or strange, but they are following an inner calling that is as valid as any other path. Remember, beloved ones, that many of the great saints, sages, and creative geniuses throughout history were people who cherished solitude and spent considerable time in retreat from the world. However, I must also speak to you about the shadow side of this tendency, for to ignore it would be to offer you incomplete guidance. Some souls retreat to their homes not out of spiritual inclination but out of fear, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of intimacy, fear of being truly seen by others. They may have experienced trauma or deep disappointment in their interactions with the world, and their home becomes not a sanctuary but a hiding place. They convince themselves that they prefer solitude when in truth they are simply afraid of vulnerability. If you recognize yourself in this description, do not despair, my dear friend. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. The Divine Mother does not judge you for your fears. She holds you in infinite compassion, but she also wants you to grow, to heal, to eventually step beyond the limitations that fear has placed upon your life. This does not mean you must become a social butterfly or force yourself into situations that genuinely do not serve your highest good. Rather, it means gently, gradually expanding your comfort zone, seeking healing for old wounds, and learning to engage with the world from a place of inner strength rather than fear. The key to understanding whether your love of home serves your spiritual evolution or hinders it lies in examining the quality of your consciousness when you are alone. Do you use your solitude constructively? Are you meditating regularly, engaging in practices that expand your awareness and deepen your connection to the divine? Are you pursuing creative or intellectual interests that enrich your soul? Are you maintaining your physical health through proper diet, exercise, and rest? Or are you simply consuming endless entertainment, scrolling through social media, or engaging in other activities that numb your consciousness rather than elevate it? You see, beloved ones, solitude can be either a powerful tool for spiritual growth or a means of spiritual stagnation, depending on how we use it. The hermit who spends his days in deep meditation and communion with God is using solitude in the highest way. The person who isolates themselves and fills their time with distractions that prevent self-reflection is missing the great opportunity that solitude offers. I would also speak to you about the importance of balance. Even those souls who are naturally inclined toward solitude and home life need some degree of human connection and engagement with the world. We are social beings by nature, and complete isolation can lead to distortions in our thinking and perception. We need the mirror that other people provide, reflecting back to us aspects of ourselves that we cannot see alone. We need the challenges that relationships bring, for these challenges are often the very friction that polishes the rough edges of our character. The wise person who loves home creates a balanced life. They honor their need for solitude and sanctuary, but they also maintain meaningful connections with others. They may have a small circle of close friends rather than a large social network. They may engage with the world selectively, choosing activities and interactions that align with their values and energy level. They learn to set healthy boundaries, saying no to obligations that drain them while saying yes to connections that nourish them. For those of you who live with family members or roommates, your home may not always feel like the peaceful sanctuary you crave. In this case, you must learn to create sacred space within your dwelling. A corner for meditation, a room of your own if possible, or even just a particular chair that becomes your place of retreat. You must also learn to create internal sanctuary, developing the ability to access inner peace regardless of external circumstances. This is an advanced spiritual practice, but one that becomes necessary when outer solitude is not available. I want to address also the modern phenomenon of technology, which has made it possible for many people to work from home, to shop from home, to be entertained at home, to even maintain friendships from home through digital means. This development has been a blessing for those who love their home environment, allowing them to structure their lives in ways that honor their natural inclinations. However, it also presents new challenges and temptations. The ease with which we can now avoid face-to-face human interaction can enable unhealthy patterns of isolation. We may convince ourselves that our digital connections are sufficient, when in truth they lack the depth and energetic exchange of in-person relationships. We may become so comfortable in our home environment that we lose the ability to navigate the wider world with confidence. We may mistake the absence of challenge for the presence of peace. Therefore, my dear friends, if you are someone who loves staying at home, I encourage you to regularly examine your motivations and the fruits of your lifestyle. Are you growing spiritually? Are you developing your talents and contributing something of value to the world, even if from the comfort of your home? Are you maintaining your physical and mental health? Do Do you have at least a few meaningful relationships that involve genuine intimacy and mutual support? Are you able to venture out into the world when necessary without excessive anxiety or discomfort? If you can answer yes to these questions, then your love of home is likely a healthy expression of your unique temperament and spiritual path. Honor it, embrace it, and do not let others make you feel that there is something wrong with you. The world needs contemplatives and homebodies just as much as it needs extroverts and adventurers. Your contribution may be quieter, less visible, but it is no less valuable. But if you find that your home has become a prison rather than a sanctuary, if you are using it to avoid growth and healing, then it is time to take gentle but firm steps toward change. Seek the help of a therapist or counselor if old traumas need healing. Begin a regular meditation practice to build inner strength and peace. Start small, perhaps commit to one social activity per week, or one outing to a place in nature. Gradually expand your comfort zone, always with compassion for yourself, never with harsh judgment. Remember, beloved ones, that the ultimate goal of spiritual life is not to become comfortable in any particular external circumstance, but to find the eternal peace that exists within you regardless of where you are or what you are doing. Whether you are in a crowded marketplace or alone in your room, whether you are engaged in intense activity or sitting in silent meditation, the divine presence is equally available to you. Your true home is not any physical location. It is the infinite consciousness that you are, the eternal self that can never be disturbed by outer circumstances. Those who love their physical homes are often unconsciously seeking this deeper home, this spiritual sanctuary that exists beyond time and space. Use your love of home as a stepping stone to this greater realization. Let your physical dwelling be a place where you practice accessing the inner home, so that eventually you can carry that sense of sanctuary with you wherever you go. In closing, dear friends, I offer you this guidance. Honor your nature, whatever it may be. If you are someone who finds peace, creativity, and spiritual nourishment in the quiet of your own home, do not let the world convince you that you must be otherwise, but also remain honest with yourself about whether your choices are serving your highest growth. Seek always to expand your consciousness, to deepen your connection with the divine, and to express your unique gifts in whatever way feels authentic to you. The path to God has many forms, and the way of the contemplative homebody is as valid as any other. When walked with awareness, intention, and love, may you find in your home a true sanctuary, a temple where you can commune with your highest self and with the divine presence that dwells in all things. And may you eventually discover that wherever you are always home, for you carry the kingdom of heaven within you. Blessings to you all.